problem. Not recognizing that we have to flex on Backpage.
Exactly.
Relax a
We need
bit.
to relax and enjoy ourselves. This is a program where we need to enjoy ourselves.
Absolutely.
Just enjoying the sport.
Uh-huh.
Enjoying nothing but enjoying.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So let's relax.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I like that. Great stuff.
Yeah.
What is God impressing upon your hearts before we get down to talking sports?
Um, when I actually walked to the studio today.
Mhm.
So when I was walking down, I was telling myself in the morning after I did my morning prayer,
Mhm.
and I looked back on my life,
Mhm.
and I had so I was really overwhelmed.
Mhm.
Just knelt down and thanked God for everything that has happened in my life.
Mhm.
23 years ago, Lorenzo.
Uh-huh.
God blessed me with my firstborn, my son Chansa.
Today
Tomorrow.
or tomorrow?
Yeah, tomorrow.
Wow. 23 years ago, you
23 years
became a
ago.
father.
Yes.
Mm.
And the special part about this birthday is that
Mhm.
it falls actually on the actual day because he was born on a Sunday around 15 hours.
Wow.
Yeah.
So tomorrow is a special Sunday.
Yes. Came a little bit late, 10 months plus.
Mhm.
Yeah. So
Wow.
you can imagine, when he was born, you can imagine the joy and the excitement that
Yes,
was in me.
yes.
So I knelt down and I thanked God, and then I read through so many enjoyable scriptures in the Word of God.
Uh-huh.
And today I'm really overwhelmed. I don't even know which scripture to pick, so I chose to talk about the word motivation itself.
Uh-huh.
This is a word that gives you the desire, the willpower, the eagerness to achieve something, to do something.
Mm-hmm.
But how do you get motivated? What really pushes you to do all these things that at the end of the day you feel happy that this is what you have achieved? And do you achieve it alone? The big answer to that is no. There's a super being up there who shapes and directs the life that you lead. So be motivated. Use this big word motivation to be motivated to align yourself with this super being that is able to transform your life, that is able to give you the willpower, that is able to give you that drive in order for you to achieve something. So this is Lorenzo that was pushing me to say, no, let us look at this big word motivation and what really drives us and what helps us to make sure that we achieve these things. Because God, this super being called God ordained our success at creation. Okay, at creation, because he wanted us to be to be something, to be someone. So at creation, just after he created the human being, he motivated us to succeed. He motivated us, to make sure that we are molded in a way that is like him. And so his being in our lives is the greatest motivation that anyone can ever have. Good morning, our dear listeners.
Awesome. All
Allow
right.
me, Lorenzo, to even go on and just wish Sunny
a happy birthday. Well, 23
years tomorrow. Nice young man, very humble, very calm. It's very rare to see him excited. Why, I don't know. But when he's watching football, he's always excited. He's also a Man U fan. Not by default, he picked it by himself. And
it's by choice.
Yeah.
You didn't coerce him.
No.
In any way.
Not at all.
I see. Okay.
Yeah. So I wanted to celebrate this young life and ask God that He continues to guide him and lead the way for him.
Awesome. All right. Predominantly in this very first hour, we're going to talk about the APSA Cup semi-final clashes between Lusaka Dynamos and Zanaco and Konkola Bleds versus Zesco United. But before we get to talk about technicalities involving those two games, there's one headline on the African continent that did dominate much of football talk in Zambia, and this has to do with the Comoros Island referee who was in charge of the Algeria versus Zambia game. We're now told that the Confederation of African Football, Andrew, has handed that man a 3-month suspension after the Algerian AFA complained of his officiating in that game. Now, the question that we're asking people listening in, Andrew, now, as we run through to the top of the hour is that 3-month suspension valid? Is CAF biased towards North African football associations when it comes to making decisions that would somewhat be deemed questionable in match play. All right. Was he handed that 3 month suspension because it's a North African side involved? In this case, Algeria. That is the question we're asking. And you're at liberty to contribute via Facebook Live. Look for the Radio Christian Voice official page. Post your comment beneath the link, and then I'll be able to get to you in no time. You can as well log on to YouTube. Look for Lorenzo Entertainment TV. Hit the red subscribe button. Voila. Post your comments right there. I'll be able to get you in no time. Alternatively, you can call us on 0960 200 490. All right. Unconventionally, before you talk, let me get to hear what this caller is actually wanting to contribute. You're through to the program. Please reduce the volume on your radio. Kindly reduce the volume on your radio. Good morning. How are you? Manchise, how are you? Very well, thanks. So, Manchise, we want to pick your mind before Andrew gets to talk here. Is that 3 month suspension handed down because it's a North African side involved, in this case, Algeria? What if it was Zimbabwe, Zambia? Does CAF really have this bias in favor of North African countries when making such decisions?
I think Lorenzo CAF here, they are not serious. Because if it has been Zambia playing up against the other country, when Zambia happens to actually go through the same situation, or Zambia happens to complain, they take long. They don't actually take any action. But here it is, Zambia involved, played against the Algeria, and Algeria complained to CAF. And they have taken action so heavy. But I don't know what that is. But CAF on this one, I'm telling you, they are so bad. They are not supposed to do like this. But I don't know who was that game. And we saw some actually, I can say, some misjudgment from the referee. Because actually, especially that week, the referee on that game, from my perspective, was not fair. I saw the game actually going to Bati.
What was not fair?
For CAF, actually handing over a 3 month suspension to that referee, I think it's not fair. It's not fair, especially that the game which was involving Zambia. If Zambia were actually playing up against another team, and Zambia would be not favored, or the referee from other country was favored the other team, it could have gone just like that. They would have gone quiet. They would have failed to act or to do any action. But here it is Zambia, and the referee that referee was being given a 3 month suspension. But I'm very happy of what the CAF has done.
Okay, Manchise, thank you very much for coming through. Okay, all right. Andrew, you had questions for Manchise.
Oh yes, I wanted him to elaborate what he termed unfair.
Lorenzo, okay, as you talk, let's welcome Jerry on the program. Jerry, welcome to the program. Are you able to hear me?
Yes, Lorenzo. Thanks very much. Good to be back on the program. Good morning to all the panelists,
okay,
as well as the listeners.
Okay, so Jerry, after Andrew, I'll be asking you on the decision by CAF to hand the Comoros Island referee a 3 month suspension. 3 month suspension for his alleged poor officiating. We're told by CAF. The question is, was that decision given out of bias in favor of North African sides, or maybe there was merit in that regard? All right, let me also welcome Chair on deck. Chair, how are you doing?
I'm good. Thank you so much for having me.
Okay, great. All right, so let me get back to Andrew since Andrew is on the floor, and then I'll have Jerry come in and then Chair just to talk on this particular decision by CAF to suspend for 3 months the Comoros Island referee.
Question is, what was he biased about? That's the question I've always asked personally. For me, that referee did not tolerate the
North
Africans. You know, North Africans, when they are leading, they will mistreat you. They'll be falling all over. They'll be misbehaving on the pitch. But that referee did not tolerate that. You know, and you would see the moment a player is ignored, it's a few seconds, this player would get up. If a player was genuinely injured, would he definitely get up in a few minutes? That's impossible. You know, that's impossible at all. And to me, I'm told, I hear people saying, no, the penalties that were awarded to Zambians were too soft. The question is, what is the rule of contact, wrong contact in the box? What is the rule? What is the rule? That is what we should look at. And for me, the goal that Patson Daka scored, for me, that was a clear goal. So if he was biased towards the North Africans, how come he disallowed the goal that was seemingly not offside? So for me, really, he was trying his level best to balance his act. You know, being a referee is not an easy job. This is a person who has to make a decision within a twinkling of an eye. So in case he misses any action for some reason, he's bound to make one or two errors. That I'm not running away from. But on average, for me, that referee tried his level best to ignore the so-called delaying tactics of the North Africans and the frustrating tactics, because they tried their level best to do that. You know, for no apparent reason, because they knew that they wanted to frustrate the Zambian attack. That's what they were after. But that referee tried his level best. For me, that is one referee who I have seen officiate a game with North Africans on a very, very fair way. Today we talk about Diramba. We know how Diramba refused to give Zambia a penalty. Even when Charles Musonda was hacked in the head by a high boat, but he refused to give a penalty. You know, we saw how Diramba tolerated the Moroccans falling all over the pitch. Diramba tolerated that. Is that what we wanted to see from this Comoros referee? For me, really, my argument is the fact that this referee tried his level best to ignore. I'm sure he did a very good study of the way North Africans play, and he told himself, look, I'm just going to ignore these guys.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Jerry, I would like to get your comment.
Lorenzo, not even forgetting Bondo. Just not so long ago, Bondo disallowed another Patson Daka goal in Nigeria. What happened to Bondo? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. That is what we can call bad officiating.
Okay. All right, Jerry, let me have you come in on this particular point. What do you make of that decision by CAF to suspend Ali Mohammed Adelaide for 3 months?
I haven't read the full statement from CAF on that one, but from what we've read in the media, he was suspended because of poor officiating, and it looks like it stemmed from those two penalty decisions, which were deemed to be soft. And I did remark at the time when we were watching the game to say, oh, those penalty decisions look pretty soft. And I guess CAF actually went and did a review. They looked at the recording of the match. Really? They looked at the replays in slow motion, saw if there was sufficient contact and so on. And they deemed that
okay, can I call you back at 13 hours? I'm on air.
Right call. So there it is. The referee has been suspended for 3 months, probably because Zambia. It would be interesting to read the full transcript of the decision to suspend him. But yes, apart from the soft penalties, the referee wasn't really that bad.
No, he wasn't.
He didn't tolerate time wasting, as Andrew has alluded to. And there was a goal which was disallowed, which upon review, it showed that I think Daka was marginally offside. But anyway, that's my view. Others have a different view. I heard Andrew say that it was a genuine goal.
Yeah.
But there it was. Hopefully it won't have some ramifications. because there could be now connotations to say, did Zambia actually collude with the referee? Did they influence him in any way? Or maybe he just made the wrong calls. But there it is. Probably it's open to interpretation. We got away with the result, 3-3 draw, and well, we move forward. Hopefully, if there's anything like collusion between referees and so on, it doesn't happen, and we will live to fight another day.
Okay, great. Thanks, Jerry, for coming through on that point. Let me have Chair come in now, Andrew. All right. Chair, your comment on that decision, and then we'll get to what people are sending us through via YouTube Live and via Facebook Live. Chair, are you able to hear us? Kindly unmute your microphone, Chair. Kindly unmute your microphone. Okay, all right. Please go ahead now. Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, good. Let me indicate that I was in the stadium, watching that game, and it was a very good game, fascinating game, a game that we relied upon so much for us to be able to get the result. Had we gotten the result, we would have been talking of a different ball game altogether. Now, my worry really is the quickness in which CAF has come out, to be able to suspend the referee from Moron, Comoros Island.
Mm-hmm.
I want to believe that if you look at the referee that handled the World Cup, qualifier for America 1984 in Morocco, Diramba, you remember, the travesty that he was able to commit. Nothing came forth. Then there was, Bondo again in Uyo, Nigeria. In which case, I believe we complained, that Augustine Mulenga go, but nothing came forth, and the referee was able to get away with it. But here is our, I would say uncle in inverted commas, because social media is about with the word that our uncle. So I mean, deliberately I'll be able to go with the word uncle. Algeria is able to complain very, very quickly within a short space of time. Action is taken. I don't know whether he was given his side, to be able to put his side, but for what I know, it's only taken, the complaint from Algeria, and that's it. They've suspended the gentleman. Now, coming to the incidents that led to his fallout with CAF. We all know that there were two penalties that were given. First by Patson Daka, second by Moses Piri, and those were the penalties that were given to Zambia, and Patson was able to carry those penalties. Yes, I think let's be frank with ourselves. In any given scenario, when you look at it, when you look at it on review, you would, be tempted to say that the two penalties were soft, and hence maybe that's how CAF was able to come hard, on the referee and suspending him. But frankly speaking, I think my bone of contention is the quickness with which CAF was able to act. To me, I regard that as being unfair. I look at it as being, one-sided. I look at it as a scenario that, should have warranted the ref, to have given his side of the story, or to have presented himself, before the panel, before, these guys could have suspended him. But we need to accept and understand that these things have been going on much more when it involves teams from the north, from the Arab north, against teams, from south of the equator. We always get an unfair decision, and as a result, we had the ref from Moron, being suspended. But let's not get jittery about it as Zambia. Let's not worry so much. These things will happen from time to time. What is important for us is to be able to play our game, move forward, be able to get into the qualifiers, the World Cup qualifiers, and see ourselves to Qatar 2022. The fact is, such things will happen, but we need to move ahead and come out of them.
All right, excellent. Let me get to read some of the comments coming through. Then we pick it up with Andrew, Jerry, and Bakachi Chair. 0960-200-490. That is 0960-200-490. Let me start by reading the comments that we have via YouTube Live. I have Macmillan Peary who says, mid-morning, on time, following your fully packed sports program. Sitali says, following live from Rufunsa, enjoying the show as always.
Excellent.
Looking so stunning though. All right, thank you very much, Sitali. All right, for coming through. Getting on to the comments that we're getting, Andrew, via Facebook Live. All right, if you want to send your comments, you can do that on 0960-200-490 via text message and via mobile phone calling right on the program. And then we'll be able to get to chat with you without doubt. All right, let me get this caller to come through as well. All right, all right, so that's 0960-200-490. Okay, and then we'll be able to put you through on the program to get to chat with us through to 11. All right, so here we have another caller. You're through to the program. Good morning. Kindly reduce the volume on your radio sets. Oh my goodness. Please, when you call in, turn down the volume on your radio sets before you even make the call. Or just switch it off altogether like Andrew is advising. Yeah, so that we don't get that terrible feedback. Okay, so when you make that call, please switch off your radio or completely reduce the volume to 0. And then when we put you through, we won't have that terrible feedback. Okay, so here we go with our next caller. You're through to the program. Okay, please go ahead, sir. One more time.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I want to handle on the same issue of the suspension of that Comoro silence. Actually, you know, I think the problem which we have here is that we tend to, or we happen to send the complaint, and we take time to send the complaint. That's the reason why we happen to be complaining always to say the CAF does not hear our complaint. I think let me look at it as they did it quickly. At the moment the game finishes, they will not be actually saying the complaint. That's why the CAF had to come in and act very quickly. I thank you.
Okay, thank you, Manchise, for coming through. All right, Andrew, you disagree.
Totally.
We do file in our complaints in good time, you mean?
No. Yes, we do. I remember the 1993 complaint. It was actually filed in while the team was still in Morocco. I remember that very well. We did the immediately the match finished. It was an evening game. Early in the morning, there was a very, very big procession. I can't remember where from, but it ended at Anchor House because first then was at Anchor House. And it was a huge gathering with the then President Winston Gumbo. And he confirmed to us, those of us that gathered at Anchor House, that he had actually sent the protest letter to CAF. Now, the match was played in the night, so the following day, Mr. Gumbo confirmed that he had sent the protest letter. So I really don't agree that we sent the protest late. I'm not aware of what time the protest against Bondo was sent, but I'm aware that it was sent. So it's not a question of it being late, and I believe that the administrators follow the time limit that is set on these complaint issues. We shouldn't defend CAF. If something is wrong, let's voice ourselves out. Let's complain. Let's air ourselves out so that we can persuade CAF to do the correct things. It's just not right at the lightning speed they have acted on this one. And in my opinion, they are being very harsh on the Comoros Island referee. Because to me that game was well handled. despite one or two decisions, that were made, and it's not everything that went Zambia's way. That we should state.
Or like we had a goal that was disallowed.
Exactly, there are some decisions that were against Zambia from the same referee. That's why I'm saying I don't know what CAF saw that we did not see. But I believe if you read the rules that set the penalties, I mean, we've seen some penalties that we question even elsewhere in the world. For as long as you are in the box and there's unfair contact, it's straight away deemed as a penalty. Even if the ball was going to be kicked and facing the other way, as long as you are in the box, unfair contact.
Okay. All right, let me get to read a few comments. Jerry, I'll be asking you about the ABSA Cup semi-final clash between Lusaka Dynamos and Zanaco and Konkola Blaze versus Zesco United after I run through these comments. All right, but Wells Tulani Mvula says, awesome, and you're following. And then now you're wishing pre-happy birthday to Chansa.
Chansa, thank you very much.
Okay.
I should think he's listening. Yeah.
All right. Then Rexon Kafueta says, good morning, Lorenzo and Andrew. Powerful motivation you have given us. I'm glued to the program.
Thank you.
Then Alfred Mushidi says, watching you live. Muya Ken Mutumba says, following. Nawa Lindunda says, good morning, Lorenzo White and Bakabwe. I'm sure you are happy that you qualified. Everyone expected a whitewash at Anfield. Real Madrid versus Man City.
Including me.
PSG final. Zesco versus Zanaco. Man City 2, Chelsea 1, FA Cup semi-final. Yes, it's actually on today.
Yeah.
And then Vancana are already preparing application forms to get into the Eden University, watching live from Mongo City. Thank you. And then Officer Chishala Henry has contributed. He says, greetings. Tandrew, you so much, Andrew, for the motivation. What a bizarre second goal for Kitwe United against Nkana. All right, on goal actually, on the part of that Zim goalkeeper.
Yeah, true.
That was total goalkeeper madness.
Yeah.
Enjoying the show like always. Thank you,
Excellent,
Officer Chishala. Then Jacob Daka says, watching live from Kitwe, Pali Madam Linda. Very funny.
Okay.
All right, then Augustine Rio Flowers.
Probably Lorenzo should be a place where
probably
people chill or something.
Okay, I hope so.
Yeah.
All right, Augustine Rio Flowers says, good morning, Lorenzo. Andrew just walked past RSCV while listening to the program. Oh, great stuff.
Excellent.
Kafa Jokers, what did they do to the ref who handled the Zambia-Nigeria game? In the World Cup qualifiers, it's a shame, really.
Yeah.
William Shipilo says, good morning. To some extent, CAF are not fair. I remember the game between Zambia and Nigeria, World Cup qualifiers, the disallowed goal, and CAF didn't take any action.
Exactly.
Prosper James Mwale says, you are live in Chipata City, Eastern Province. Thank you, James. And then Hudson Chinongo says, I'm watching you from Lusaka. I hope everyone is fine there. And then Augustine says, looking forward to a wonderful weekend of football. Women's National League, the APSA. I mean, nothing beats Zambian football. Wish my beloved Red Arrows tomorrow against Nkwazi all the best. Adam Chiokoma says, good morning, Lorenzo. Bakawe, happy birthday to your humble son. Everyone is against Zanaco. Remember, we are sensational. We will roast Lusaka Dynamos. All right. And then Rexon says, happy birthday to Sani. Then Janice Kunda says, good morning, good people. While my take is that the ref was not supposed to be suspended because Zambia has been denied by most of the refs in Africa. Now that is one. Now this one helped as he had actually taken off not far from CAF. All right, I'm trying to make sense of what you've said, Janice, but we'll pick one or two things. Michael Talseu says, watching you live from Chembe. Wow, Chembe. That's Lopula province, right?
Exactly.
All right, then Abia says, right here, watching from Kabwe. Fleming Yawila says, good morning. Those were clear penalties because it's a non-African team involved. They are quick to respond. Nice program, says Banda Gospel. All right, we've been joined by Mfundisi clad in an ABSA Cup t-shirt. Where's my complimentary t-shirt? You have this habit of flashing us with ABSA branded regalia, every time there's the ABSA Cup.
Yeah.
Do you remember last year, Jerry? You're listening, right?
Actually, last year,
gave us caps.
Yes,
t-shirts.
Last year he brought us some.
Yes, he
some
did.
goodies,
Yeah.
The
How about today?
unfortunate part is that it's called collateral, hey? So the collateral, unfortunately, I was on the copper belt, so we missed each other with the team that was going for the ABSA Cup because the semi-finals are at the Arthur Water Davis Stadium later on, 13 hours as well as 15 hours.
Exactly.
But I can promise you that next Saturday, I would be able to have the contraband.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
you'll be clad.
I need something for my gym, you know.
I know
Yeah,
you're looking better and better. I'm seeing you working out, and I'm saying, okay, even for me now that the pot belly is really
it's gone. It's really
I
gone.
need now to begin to behave like Lorenzo.
Put very halal.
But yeah, having said that, I think firstly, apologies, Lorenzo, for coming in late. You know, the exigencies of life. Yeah, and today in the morning I was very, very shocked. There's one man who used to listen to Backpage a lot by the name of David Luando Mumba, who collapsed and died.
Just like that.
He was a pastor.
Our condolences.
Yeah, and he was a good friend of ours, even on Facebook and so on. So it was a bit of a shock start, you know, to the day. I went with him to Matero Boys as well. He was my senior by a year. He was a guy who loved God, you know, Reverend David Luando Mumba, who also was a big fan of local football, as well as, you know, would listen in this particular show.
Excellent. All right, let's start with Jerry. Lusaka Dynamos versus Zanaco, and then we'll have Che and also Mfundisi come in that order. Numba Mumamba has really revolutionized Zesco United. They're taking on Konkola Blaze. Maybe let me start with that one for you, Jerry. All right, Mumamba has definitely been quite a revelation, not really a revelation, because he's one man that has a proven track record coaching Zanaco, and he's repeating the impressive run he enjoyed while coaching Zanaco, now at Zesco United. Is it 7 or 8 games unbeaten on the spin? I mean, who would ask for anything better if you're kind of like chairman of a club like Zesco United? Jerry, they're taking on Konkola Blitz in the APSA semi-final clash on the Copper Belt.
Yes, Lorenzo, you're right in that Mumamba Numba has done very well since assuming the reins at Zesco United. Like you said, he's a proven coach. So it's not like he just came in from nowhere and revolutionized things. I think he did very well at Zanaco, won the league with them, did well in the continental competitions as well. And Zesco made the right call in bringing him in when Chicken George left. The APSA Cup has been called the Zesco United Cup, actually, because they've dominated it so much. And even this season, they look like they might just go all the way. Facing Konkola Blades, who sort of caused an upset in the previous round when people didn't really give them a chance. But there they are now. Zesco versus Konkola Blades. I expect Zesco to carry the day on this one. They're just too experienced at this level. They're seasoned campaigners, and they've got a pretty solid side, and they're sitting on top of the Premier League table. So, looking like they have the edge going into this semi-final.
Okay, great stuff. Chair, Obi, briefly before we get back to the gentleman in the studio, I know we're almost timed out on the Zoom live link on your end. Lusaka Dynamos versus Zanaco. This one is definitely a feisty encounter. All right, who's your money on between the two Lusaka-based giants?
Very, very difficult, you know, to be able to place my man on either side because, you know, coming from last Saturday when I watched the two teams at Sunset Stadium, in which case, you know, Zanaco was able to triumph 2-1. I want to believe that we are into it, you know, in a game that can go either way. In that game last Saturday, which was a league game, Moses Speed was able to score. Then, you know, Dynamos equalized, but Ernest Otezambewe got a winning goal, and then, you know, Zanaco picking the maximum points, you know, on the day. But looking at the kind of play that was on display, I want to believe that both, you know, coaches, Chris Takatiko Kaunda and Weston, you know, Wanda Nyerenda would want, you know, to win this game. So that's it. It fits, you know, two coaches who've got the experience, two coaches who, you know, want it the more, and you've got players on the other side again that will want to win it because of one, you know, the money that are in it. Secondly, you know, the pride that will come out of it, having to win, you know, this game. If, you know, Zanaco were to triumph, then it would be 2 on the road for them. But I don't think, you know, Lusaka Dynamos would want to give in. They would want also, you know, to be able to win it so that they can, you know, retain that that pride of beating Zanaco. So that's it. I think it's difficult to be able to predict. It's a question of tactics. I think it will go down to tactics. those that have good tactics today, those that have prepared well for the day, I think that's a team that will be able to carry it. Pointing it out outright that Zanaco or Lusaka Dynamos will be able to win, I think it's difficult for me. But in terms of analyzing, I want to think that in a way, yes, Zanaco's got an edge over Lusaka Dynamos.
Okay, great stuff. Thank you very much, Chair. Let me get on to Mfundisi, and I would also want to do a shout out to Sheila, who is actually tuning into the program. She's a Chelsea fan from within Lusaka. So a beautiful morning to you, Sheila, before we hit the noon clock at 12. All right, Mfundisi, ABSA Cup. You're so passionate about this cup.
Yeah.
All right. Is it because it's the only cup competition that we have, aside the MTN Super Division, which has a high stake? There's a stake. MTN Super Division. You should talk about that.
Yeah, it's heavy, man. It's heavy.
It's heavy. The least paid will be getting how much?
Hey, the least paid is going to be getting 1 million.
1 million? Yeah, that's
a total package.
Total package,
including broadcast money, super sport.
You
put together 1 million.
1 million.
Only about 5 years ago, they were getting 7 pins.
7 pin.
Now 1 million. Even you could have paid some of them.
7 pin.
You from your money, you.
7 pin trolley, ShopRite, finished.
Yes.
That is the money that clubs were getting.
Gentlemen are getting from Bola Bait. He goes into 7 pin.
Or he wins 10 pin.
10 pin.
7.
He gets 7 pays in quality. For participating in the league.
But that is a story that is in the past now.
Because ABSA Cup are offering 600,000 kwacha to the winners. And the tournament itself is to the tune of 3.8 million. 3.8 million. That's the biggest pay packet in the history of Zambian football.
Wow.
You remember that Zambian football came into being, organized way in 1962. At no time have we had such staggering money. Hey, it's unbelievable. And this just raises the stakes, not for Chisanyama, but in terms of what it is in, for the clubs. And I think that Vajamani has, and the other guys have said, many things in connection to the 2 games that are coming up. But look, when Numba Mumamba was given the job as Zesco United coach, nobody gave him a song. But today,
nobody gave him a chance.
Today he stands on the precipice.
Yes, precipice. Yeah.
He stands at the precipice. I can say it as if I'm from down south. He stands on the precipice of a possible double.
Yeah. You're saying it like you're coming from Benoni.
From Benoni.
Or
Ombobela. Or indeed, down Vilagazi Street. Or down
Vilagazi Street.
Usowetu. But I mean, down to the serious business, Lorenzo. Numba Mumamba, nobody gave him a song when he replaced, George Wandamin as head boss. He stands on the precipice at Zesco United. He stands on the precipice of a possible double, and standing in his way is firstly Konkola Blades. Now, Konkola Blades have Lewiton Mujembe, who has stood in for Coach Charles Chisalawale, who has been indisposed for quite some time. Now, there could be some nostalgia. In 1998, Numba Mumamba and Lewiton Mujembe, under one Benjamin Tigana Walia. This man would remember him. Probably you were too young to remember who Benjamin Tigana Walia.
I've got fresh memory. I remember too well. Carry on.
But Benjamin Tigana Walia was the elder brother to Kalusha Walia. He was more skillful, than the rest of the Walia brothers. But then obviously injuries affected his career. But he went to Konkola Blades and helped them win the Mosi Cup in 1998. As boss of Konkola Blades. Now, in that Konkola Blades side, there was a certain pint-sized midfielder, very quick and very skillful, who was known as Numba Mumamba. And then at the back, there was a towering defender in the name of Lewington Mujembe. So these 2 guys now are coming up against each other. And
having played on the same side. And
you remember
the Mosika.
You remember when Numba Mumamba was replaced at Konkola Blades by Mr. Takatiko Kaunda, and he was asking me inside this week when I was asking him about the ABSA Cup. And I remember about 2 weeks ago when they conceded a goal at the death against Zesco United, and he was asked by the SuperSport crew to explain what he thought about the referees, and he retorted, "Am I the coach for referees?" So how did you think the game went? How do you think the game went yourself? Did you watch something? Something like that. But then back to that game between Blades and Zesco United. Numba Mumamba has indicated that he has been given a contract by Zesco United, would you believe it, to win the league and to defend the cup, because they are the defending champions of this particular trophy. So it will be very interesting to see whether nostalgia, because I was about to say, when he was replaced by Mr. Takatiko Kaunda, he went to Konkola Blades. Do you remember?
Yes.
You know, let me just offer my childhood club some service. But then they rolled something else.
Yes,
and he was unveiled as technical advisor at Konkola Stadium.
Yes.
And not too long from there, we saw him going to Zesco United, and many people said, this job is too big for Numba.
Yes.
And today, he is on the precipice of a double. Should he beat Konkola Blades and get into the final? Or else the other semi-final, you know, the chairman was a bit cagey as to which one will win. One thing that makes this very fascinating is the fact that just last week, Zanaco beat Lusaka Dynamos in the league. And so the question is, which era will Lusaka Dynamos or Zanaco be on after the semi-final later today? Is it repeat or revenge? We look forward to see the answers.
Great. Okay. All right. So, gentlemen, we are running into commercials. Jerry and Chair. All right. We hope to have you reconnected on the other side. Your visas are already granted. In our WhatsApp group.
VIP. VIP treatment.
VIP treatment. Yeah, your visas are already granted. So we're hoping to reconnect Chair and Jerry. Jerry, can you hear us?
I gonna kubutuka Liverpool.
Okay, at Ikono kubutuka Liverpool. That is what someone in the studio is saying.
Connection out network.
All right, okay, so we'll have you connected on the other side, gentlemen, and we're definitely catching a breather. We'll also have our listeners catching us via Facebook Live, reconnected when we come back right on this program. So remember, it'll never be Premier unless it's Backpage. So catch us when we return after this round of commercials, as we have you back watching us live in living color.